Hello everybody, I am Shepels and welcome back to Let's Play Zombie Shooter 2. So, we're just after saving the miners and this guy's about to give us a tank. For whatever reason he's giving us a tank, but it'll do the job. Now, let's see. Well, I'm gonna sell that anyway because I'm never going to use it. I'm gonna repair the armor. I'm gonna sell that one. Yeah, I'll sell the destroyer, I'll sell that, and that will leave me with those. And we're gonna be in a tank, so I don't think there's any point in buying anything else for the moment. Before we can go get the tank, we have to go and wipe out a couple of zombies with a big ass gun. Good old zombie shooter style. Let's see if there's anything. Aha, yeah, I thought there would be. Right, I need to sell some of this ammunition because I've got way too much. Like, I don't even have a machine gun, and I'm carrying heaps of machine gun ammo, so I might as well sell it. The only problem is getting into it. So if I move that, move. God's sake. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this differently. Right, let me see. What's the cheapest machine gun ammo? Machine gun, okay. I'm just gonna buy this for a second, and I'm just gonna sell a lot of ammo. In fact, I'm gonna just sell it all. I have none of that. Then I can sell that back for what I bought it for. As long as you don't go out of the shop, you can sell everything back for what you bought it for, so it's not too bad. So sell all that, because we're gonna be needing all the money we can get, so it's best to kind of stock up on money as much as possible from the very get-go, and that includes selling ammunition or whatever like that you don't use, just to be sure. Right, okay, I think we've got about everything, so let's go deal with these zombies. There we go, just mow through them. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Like, there's no challenger because of it, but it's still fun. Like, literally nothing can stop me. I don't know what's wrong with the sound effects there that is firing off a shotgun sound effect, I don't know. It only seems to happen when I shoot troopers, but I don't know. I'm not gonna take any notes of it anyway. It's probably just another bloody glitch. Just to add to the list on this one. Perimeter clear, come to me quick and take the key to the tank. He's so generous. Just, you know, hand over a tank. Wish you stayed here, you're a great fighter. I hope your sister is alive. Sister. It's not supposed to be my sister. It's supposed to be sister. See, this is another thing. Good luck, give my regards to the guys on the roadblock. This is another thing that I didn't get a chance to say earlier on. There we go. The whole story is a bit fucked up because they haven't made it so that it's different for when you play a male character and for when you play a female character. Basically, what way it's supposed to work is if you have a male character, you're supposed to be saving your partner. Or your wife, or whatever. If you have a female character, you're supposed to be saving your sister. But the game can't seem to differentiate the difference. So the actual story goes a bit arseways because of it. Hold on, I want to see what implant that was. No, that one. Intelligent snipers. Okay, I'm gonna wear that. Oh yeah, I leveled up too, didn't I? We'll up the intelligence bit. But yeah, so basically when, despite the letter at the start saying, you know, honey and blah 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 blah, actually throughout the game she's regarded as your sister, even if you play a male character. So yeah, they didn't think that one out very well or program it in very well. Like, you know, I know I'm being a tad bit nitpicky by saying that, but you know, if you're going to do a sort of, if you're going to do a story that branches like that, as in like you play one character, it works differently, the least you could do is fucking do it right, so that the story doesn't sort of conflict. You know, I mean, it's not that hard really to program something like that in, and all you're doing is literally just changing like a word in the odd fucking discussion. That's all you're doing. I don't know why that happened, but still. Anyway, we're driving a fucking tank and blowing the shit out of everything that moves. And as you can see, we're starting to get the guys with the guns, the rocket launchers, or bio shit launchers. I don't know what the fuck they are. I don't really care. They're going to die anyway. Now this whole level is just using the tank. So it's one of these levels that is really cool, but is really dragged out because you're using the tank for way too long, and you know it's a little bit meh. You know, the tank's not the biggest. It's not the easiest thing to drive around, and the combat in the tank is actually quite boring because all you're doing is literally just standing there and you're just blowing the shit out of things and just reversing to stop them getting within your range. That's literally all you're doing. So it's cool, but it's also very boring. They did nothing to really make it exciting or anything like that. And you know, in Alien Shooter 2 there's a tank as well, which you'll see when I do a let's play of that. And the tank is actually quite cool because the tank has both a rocket launcher and this big ass machine gun on it as well in Alien Shooter 2, which makes it kind of that little bit cooler. But I don't know. When I first played through this level, I thought, oh, this is cool, I get to drive a tank. Like, you know, it wasn't new for me because it had been done before in Alien Shooter 2 and haven't played it. You know, it wasn't quite the same impact as it would have been if I hadn't have driven one in Alien Shooter 2. But at the same time, I feel that this level goes on way too long, and it's just, by the time you get halfway through this, you kind of just wishing it was over, because it is long and it's fucking agonizing, and the tank drives really bloody slowly too, which, you know, there has to be a certain amount of realism there, because the tank doesn't exactly move extremely quickly. But you know, at the same time, you know, I'd still like to move a little bit quicker than it does. But you know, okay, maybe I am nitpicking a little bit, and in a sense it's a little bit out of my character to nitpick. I'm not generally a very nitpicky person, but you know, I can't help but kind of nitpick with this one because it just slows down the pace of the whole game. Like, this is a very fast-paced action game. The shooter series always has been, and this is just really out of character because it just slows it down so much. Like when you're in a car or something like that, it's not so bad because the car is quite quick. But the fact that you're in this really slow-ass tank and it takes you a good while to get around, it kind of loses some of that kind of, it just slows the pace down a little bit too much for my liking. Personally, it's just something that I think it does pretty badly. But you know, that's me. You know, I might be wrong if I'm saying that. Like, you know, as I said, it is cool, but at the same time, I feel that it just slows down the pace a little bit too much for my liking. Anyway, I personally don't like the tank very much, and I'm in trouble here. I could die here if I'm not careful. I need to be very selective about who I take out. Yeah, there we go. But that's just, you know, that's my opinion. You know, other people might think differently. Other people might like the tank. They might think it's the best thing since sliced bread. But for me, it's a bit of a. It just slows down the pace a bit too much for me. And you know, the fact that I'm able to keep a distance like this can really harm me. You know, it just, again, it slows down the action. It slows down the adrenaline. The adrenaline rush that the game generally gives you because of the sheer numbers. But like, also on top of that, like when you're on foot, you feel a certain, you know, you feel a certain amount of sense of being overwhelmed. But when you're in a big ass fucking tank like this, that sort of sense just isn't there anymore. You know, it's just kind of like, I'm in a big ass tank, I can kill anything now, and I'm indestructible. And you know, like it's not a horror game. It never was intended to be, but like when you're playing the shooter series, you always have this sort of sense of vulnerability because you're always completely outnumbered and everything. But so there's a certain amount of sort of insecurity there, but now there's not, because I'm in a big ass fucking tank. You know, it just kind of, you know, it just slows down everything and that, you know. I don't know, maybe I'm bitching, I don't know. But that's what I feel. I just feel that it slows down the combat too much and gives you that sort of sense of security that's not there when you're on foot. Like, you know, I'm playing on the hardest difficulty. I should be, you know, I should be, you know, worrying a little bit seeing all these come towards me, but I'm not, because I'm in a big ass tank with a big ass rocket launcher on it. But, you know, I don't know. It's just one of those things. You know, I may be seen as nitpicking a little bit here, but you know, I think the reason that I might be appearing a bit hard on this game, and maybe I am being a bit hard on it. I'm not going to disagree in that sense, because I am being pretty hard on this game. I will admit, and I'm not usually this harsh. Unless I play something that is absolutely god terrible, then I'm fucking harsh. But at the same time, for Sigma Team, it's a big disappointment between all the glitches and mistakes they've made, and just the lack of creativity here to, you know, like, the soundtrack annoys me because they had a really decent one in the first one that really fitted in with the whole zombie thing, but you know, they've gone and kind of just used the alien shooter one, and I just see it as laziness. I see it as laziness and just a sort of I don't give a fuck attitude, which is very disappointing for Sigma Team because they were never like that. They never were like that. They always tried to differentiate their games. They always tried to come up with new ideas for their games, and now it just feels like they're just getting a little bit of an I don't give a fuck attitude, a bit of a AAA attitude, which is not good for an indie developer. But you know, I'm curious to see some of their more recent titles. There's one, and it's one of these games that's very out of character for them. It's very weird, and I'm not quite sure how to make it. It's kind of a mixture of tower defense and something else, and I honestly don't know. I'm gonna get the demo one of these days just to try it out, but because I don't know what to make of it. I'm not going to spend about 20 quid on a game, and I don't know what it's even about. I can only sort of take a guess from glimpsing at screenshots. Sometimes screenshots just aren't enough to tell what a game is about and what the gameplay is like. It is sometimes just not enough, and one of their latest titles is kind of like that. I just don't know what to really make of it. Now we're sucking diesel. We've got a decent bloody shotgun now. There's more crates over here. Oh no, that's not a crate. Okay, that's fair enough. Is there anything in the back here? No? Okay. It's just like one of those really weird games that I just don't know what to make of. I don't even understand what it's about or anything. So I'm a little bit skeptical, and particularly after this. You know, this game made me worry about Sigma Team's direction, because I can't see it being that, you know, they were under pressure to get this out. I can't see them not making a new soundtrack because of lack of finance. I just can't see that being the case, but you never really know. It's very hard. But the fact that they've been developing a lot of games, and they've been going onto the mobile scene now, like they've released Alien Shooter 1 on the mobile and everything now, so I can't really see that it's a case of, you know, a lack of finance that they couldn't make a new soundtrack, or this for some reason I get a sense of rush from it, and I don't understand why. I don't know whether they just wanted to get it out so that they could put full-time development on another project or what. I'm not sure, but it feels rushed, between, you know, lack of new soundtrack and everything else, and the bugs and glitches. Look, as I said, this is the version that is directly off their website. I bought it off their website for €20, and it just feels rushed. Like, the second Alien Shooter felt really polished. There was not really any issues with it. I never had any bugs or any glitches or anything with it, and it felt really nice, really well done, and really well polished. And this doesn't. It just, like, even the level design seems very, very rushed, because, you know, there's nothing new here, to be honest with you. And I think it's the next level or the level after that things really, I start to get really concerned, and like when it comes to the game being rushed. And I'll explain when I get there, because it'll be hard for me to explain it without actually seeing it, without you guys actually seeing it. But it, you know, I just sense that they rushed this, and I'm not sure why, because you know, I just don't quite understand why they'd even, you know, feel the requirement to rush. I mean, they publish the games themselves. They've only recently just started putting them through download distribution like Steam and GOG over the past year or so. So, you know, they didn't have a publisher, I think. Oh no, they did. They did have a publisher. I know they had a publisher for Alien Shooter 2, which I think was CDV. I think. I'm not sure on that. I think it was CDV. I'm not sure. But it's like, you know, I don't know if they had a publisher for this or not to actually get it on the shelves. I'm not sure, because I remember when Alien Shooter Vengeance first came out, it wasn't actually available here. It wasn't available in Europe, and I actually had to wait until it became available, which was really annoying. But like back then, they were pretty much just publishing themselves, and they had a little bit of help to get it on store shelves, I think, in the States through whichever publisher it was, or maybe the publisher was just a download source. I'm not sure. I can't quite remember. But I just don't see why that they might have had the feeling that they needed to rush this. Their new game is very different. It's 3D. You know, it's not what I suppose you'd call, you know, sort of 2.5D isometric or whatever. You know, it's not like that. It's actually full on 3D. This latest game, and I just can't think of what the hell it's called. I really can't think of what it's called, which is unusual because I'm usually pretty good at remembering names. It just goes to show how little interest I took in it. But yeah, you know, that's just my opinion. Like, some people might think that this is pretty polished, but like I said, I've played all of Sigma, well, not all of them, but I've played, you know, a large percentage of Sigma Team's games from back from Alien Shooter 1 upwards, and you know, so I in comparison to the rest of their games, this felt very rushed. It really did feel rushed. You know, there's just a lack of addition to it. They could have done a lot more because, you know, it's either that it was rushed or they're sticking too much to what they already know. You know, there's this whole thing of where companies just kind of get into this comfort zone and they're afraid to try anything new, so maybe that's what happened. I'm not sure. It's possible. It's possible, like, that's what happened, but that they're kind of afraid to try anything new. So they just kind of stick to exactly what they know, and they feel that they can kind of do it quicker, and maybe just some things got left out. I don't know, and I don't think I'll ever know, to be honest with you. It's not like I'm gonna be able to get a fucking interview with them or anything, is it? I don't know, I just felt that it was kind of rushed. But, you know, I've been proven wrong in the past, so I'm not saying that I'm 100% right, because, you know, I'm not always right. I make mistakes. I see things wrong and things I'm not always going to be right when I say it, you know. This is about as far as we go with the tank, which is about bloody time. I mean, it's taken me probably about 15 minutes just to get here. And now we're on foot, and I'm still not bloody done. So we gotta kind of mosey around a bit. This is where the shotguns start getting really powerful, and they just absolutely blow through anything. They just destroy everything. The shotguns are probably one of your best friends when it comes to impossible difficulty, before you're able to actually get a really powerful machine gun. Because you can, like, the machine guns that you want to be getting is the likes of the miniguns, the Vulcans, things like that. That's what you really want to be getting. And until then, the shotguns are kind of going to be your best friend, because they do cost a lot of money, and as I said, you don't want to waste money needlessly, because things are very expensive. Okay, so we're here. Yeah, it took me 25 minutes just to do that, just to get through that level. Oh well. Alright, so we're in the next level. Now I'm just gonna leave it here for this part, guys, because we already spent about 25 minutes on the last level, so I'm gonna leave it here for this part. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you, and have fun.